Senator Birmingham. Senator Whish-Wilson.
Thank you, Acting Madam Deputy President. Great to focus on the benefits to the states and Commonwealth. Senator Birmingham, didn't hear much there about the risks to the states and the Commonwealth. Look, my journey to the Senate is actually very close to the bone on this topic of risks in assessments for large projects between the states and the Commonwealth. My journey really began jumping a farmer's fence in Tasmania, going surfing, as we often do there, and talking to a few mates about a project that we'd heard about, that Gunns Limited were going to put a large pulp mill in the Tamar Valley and pump effluent into the ocean in Bass Strait, just exactly where we were going surfing. And it occurred to me from chatting to some of the guys that nobody really knew much about the project. So we'd wandered down to a place called Cow Head, we jumped in Bass Strait in frigid winter, and I started thinking about this. You know, what is this stuff that's going to go in the ocean, and how much of it's going to be going in the ocean, and where's it going to end up, and what's it going to do? Now, when I moved to Tasmania in 2003, I don't think I'd classify myself as an environmentalist, certainly not as an activist. And I went and met with Gunns Limited. I knocked on their door, I made a meeting, and I said to them, what's this business about you guys pumping stuff into the ocean? Anyway, it was probably too early then for them to give me any substantial detail. But the following 9 years was my journey to find out about the risks of this particular project. And as it turned out, and I'll get to this a bit later in the speech, the only body that was assessing the risks to the ocean and the ocean outfall was the federal body under EPBC law, because it didn't fall under state laws. The outfall was just further out to sea enough for it to fall under Commonwealth approval. 4 years I spent engaging in that process to get some scientific scrutiny on what this ocean outfall would do to a very special part of Bass Strait. And I'll get back to that in a minute, because it actually is really critical, and it's a really good example of why divulging powers to the states is not the right thing to do. But I also believe it's not just the right thing to do in terms of the environment and for communities. I also think for businesses, for profitability and for certainty, it's the right thing to do to keep a strong Commonwealth environmental law in place.